Good morning and welcome back to Tommy Bites TV and Life. So I'm kind of behind on putting videos out because I have the back end of YouTube that I'm having to do, like the office part of it. And it's really an update, and I'm trying to keep y'all informed as much as possible as to what's happening. What I'm about to show you in this video and in this article is not just happening in this particular state of Iowa. This is happening in many states where they're experiencing being underwater pretty much right now. So as you enter, please hit that like button. Definitely share the video out and leave comments when the video is done as well. Those things help the channel grow and get out to more people. Let YouTube know that this channel is here. I thank you for coming in, and let's get to it. And I will greet you guys in just a few minutes. So the levees have been breached, you guys. Tornado warnings, flash flooding, and large hail added insult to injury for people in the Midwest, already contending with the heat and humidity, and it's now contending with intense flooding after days and days and days of rain. This is what is happening. The levee has been breached, and everything below is underwater. Farmland is underwater, businesses, homes, schools, grocery stores, all of those things are happening. And as you see this video right here showing you, this is North Sioux City, South Dakota right now, as of June 24th. This is the levee being breached. This is Rock Valley, Iowa right now. Their levee was breached also. Like I said, schools, homes, churches, etc. Everything is under water. Give me 1 second to come back up. So the National Weather Service on Tuesday afternoon and evening issued multiple tornado warnings in parts of Iowa and Nebraska as local TV news meteorologists show photos and large hail and spoke of very heavy rain. They are without power right now, you guys. So that is saying a lot. They are without power right now. They are without water, food, access to food, meaning grocery stores. Earlier on Tuesday, floodwaters breached levees in Iowa, creating dangerous conditions that prompted evacuations. They were already doing evacuations in the earlier part of the storm, and they especially had to do them when the levee broke. A vast swath of lands from eastern Nebraska and South Dakota to Iowa and Minnesota has been under siege from water, from flooding, from torrential rains since last week, while also being hit with a scorching heat wave on top of that. And they're not the only ones dealing with the heat wave, but when you think about all of that water and the heat, you need to start thinking about the mosquitoes, the other bugs that are out there, the other creatures that are out there in that water, the sewage that is in that water. That is a lot to deal with. And with mosquitoes comes illness. Up to 18 inches of rain have fallen in some areas, and some rivers rose to record levels. Hundreds of people were rescued, homes were damaged, and at least 2 people died after driving in flooded areas. The sheriff's office in Monona County near Nebraska border said the Little Sioux River breached levee in several areas. In neighboring Woodbury County, the sheriff's office posted drone video on Facebook showing the river overflowing the levee and flooding land in rural Smithland. No injuries were immediately reported. Does not mean the injuries aren't there, you guys. Does not mean that the possibility of people being caught off guard did not take place. An emergency management coordinator in Monona County described waking people at about 4 a.m. in Rodney, a town of about 45 people, to recommend evacuation. Later Tuesday morning, the water hadn't yet washed into the community. Can you imagine at 4 a.m. getting that knock on the door and they're recommending you to leave? I'm pretty sure there are probably some people who say, I'm not leaving my stuff. Stuff is stuff, you guys. Your life is way more important. And think about bug out bags, go bags. So when you do get that knock saying, hey, we got to go, you got to get out of here, hopefully you have time to grab that bag. Hopefully. So people up the hill are saying it is coming our way. As new areas were flooding Tuesday, some cities and towns were cleaning up after the water receded, while others downstream were piling sandbags and taking other measures to protect against the oncoming swelled currents. Some normal, unassuming ballooned into rushing water, damaging homes, buildings, and bridges. Normally, this river is barely a trickle, says a 71-year-old, as they watch the Big Sioux's water gush over a broken and partially sunken rail bridge in North Sioux City, South Dakota. And that was on Monday. South Dakota state geologists said that the 5 major rivers in the state's southeastern corner have crested and are dropping, albeit it's slowly, but it is dropping. The last of those rivers to crest did so early Tuesday. In a residential development along McCook Lake in North Sioux City, the devastation became clear Tuesday as flood waters began to recede from Monday, exposing collapsed streets, utility poles, and trees. Some homes have been washed off their foundation. And this is why they say you need to turn around, do not drive, do not be out there if you don't have to, because where you're seeing water and you know that there is a street, it does not mean that that street is there anymore. Because once that water started receding, that's when they saw that there were a lot of streets that had collapsed, that were no longer there. Currently, there is no water, no sewer, no gas or electrical service in this area, Union County Emergency Management said on a Facebook post. So y'all let that sink in, that this could happen in any area. The storm is one thing, but what the storm causes and the weak infrastructure that we have makes it worse. But we funnel money to other countries to help them fight wars and build up their countries. When do we build up our own countries? Those are questions that need to be asked on tomorrow in that presidential debate. I don't want to watch it, but I'm going to watch it. No water, no sewer, no gas, no electrical services in this area. This is pretty much primitive right now. Could you survive that? So it says President Joe Biden approved a major disaster declaration for affected counties in Iowa on Monday, a move that paves the way for federal aid to be granted. To the south in Sioux County, well, in Sioux City and Woodbury County, Iowa, officials responded to residents' complaints that they had received little warning of the flooding and its severity. Sioux City Fire Marshal said at a news conference Tuesday that rivers crested higher than predicted. So yes, while people can predict what they think is going to be, the last say does not belong to man. And I'm just keeping it real. So someone said, even if we would have known about this 2 weeks ago, well, the fire marshal said this, even if we have known about this 2 weeks ago, there was nothing we could do at this point. We cannot extend the entire length of our levee. Water has spilled over the Big Sioux River levee. Estimated hundreds of homes likely have some internal water damage. Y'all, communities are going to go away. They're going to disappear because not everyone is going to be able to rebuild. Not everyone has homeowners insurance, or even if they're renting, you never know what that situation is. And I see in a lot of states, flood insurance is disappearing because we're having so many floods that insurance companies don't even want to insure for that right now. Homes on the south side of Spencer, Iowa, near the Little Sioux River, are unlivable as water has reached the main floor. A resident said a lot of people in town are facing a double whammy with homes and businesses affected. Officials in Woodbury County said around a dozen bridges over the Little Sioux River had been topped by floodwater, and each would need to be inspected to see if they can reopen to traffic. Forever Wildlife Lodge and Clinic, a nonprofit animal rescue in Northwest Iowa, has answered over 200 calls since the flooding started. Hayes described the flooding as catastrophic for Iowa wildlife, which are getting washed out of dens, injured by debris, and separated from each other. She and other rehabilitators are responding to calls about all kinds of species, from fawns and groundhogs to bunnies and eaglets. She says, I've never seen it this bad before, ever. Further to the east in Humboldt, Iowa, a record crest of 16.5 feet was expected on Wednesday, today, you guys, at the West Fork of the Des Moines River. Amid high temperatures and humidity, nearly 68,000 sandbags have been laid, according to the county emergency manager. Bissell told reporters Tuesday that there was no water on the streets yet, but flooding had begun in some backyards and was reaching up to the foundations of nearly 5,000 residents. In Michigan, more than 150,000 homes and businesses were without power Tuesday morning after severe thunderstorms barreled through less than a week after storms left thousands in the dark for days in suburban Detroit. The Weather Service also predicted more than 24 points of major flooding in southern Minnesota, eastern South Dakota, and northern Iowa, and flood warnings are expected to continue into the week. Many streams, especially with additional rainfall, may not crest until later this week. So they're still dealing with this. This is absolutely insane. As the floodwaters slowly drain down a web of rivers to the Missouri and Mississippi, the Missouri will crest at Omaha on Thursday. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to have another update, you guys. Does not get any better. North of Des Moines, Iowa, the lake above the Saylorville Dam was absorbing river surge and expected to largely protect the metro area from flooding, according to the Polk County Emergency Management Agency. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers projected Tuesday that water levels at Saylorville Lake will rise by more than 30 feet by the 4th of July. Outside Mankato, Minnesota, the local sheriff's office said Monday that there was a partial failure of the western support structure for the Rapidan Dam on the Blue Earth River after the dam became plugged with debris. Flowing water eroded the western bank, rushed around the dam, and washed out an electrical substation, causing about 600 power outages. So we don't know when, how, why. In most cases, when we lose power, you're thinking, oh, it's just raining. Why is the power out? You don't know if up the road away from you is something being flooded and is shutting the power off. Electric Weller, emergency management director for the Blue Earth County Sheriff, said the bank would likely erode more, but he didn't expect the concrete dam itself to fail. The 2 homes downstream were evacuated. Minnesota governor said on Tuesday, well, they cautioned against rebuilding too fast, instead emphasizing more sustainable repairs that could prevent or mitigate future flooding. And that is it. I wanted to bring you some news that you can use. I definitely send my prayers to everyone in these states. It's like 9, if I'm not mistaken. And the fact that they're dealing with this is just really, really, really unbelievable. I'm going to leave you with another view of this. Make sure you can see it here. This is what happens when we don't invest money into our infrastructure. We already have weakened infrastructure when it comes to our power grids, when it comes to our water treatment facilities, and more. These people are going to be dealing with the aftermath of this flooding for a very, very long time. They're going to have to contend with the wildlife, no place to live, no power, no drinking water. They're going to be living out of bins, and they probably going to be living in a shelter somewhere because mold is going to build up in those homes if they don't get them cleaned. So that's it, you guys. Let me stop sharing for a minute and come out, and thank you guys for coming in. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you're sharing this video out so people can see what's happening. Hopefully it'll make them think, well, I need to prepare a little bit more, or think about ways of protecting those items if the emergency happens to be water related. I thank you so very much for coming in. I have to get back to finishing up what I'm doing, and it's going to take all day. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I messed up my thing like that. I mean, it doesn't even matter what time you're being evacuated. That's scary to think about. I mean, you have to have faith in God, of course, that everything is going to work out and that he's going to protect you. But at the same time, being realistic, you don't know where you're going. Hopefully you have some items with you. Definitely, your medications and changes of clothes and underwear and toiletries and stuff. But what if you don't? What if it was just that fast and you had to leave and you did not have time to grab any of those things? Now you have to contend with your health in that whole situation. Yeah, it seems odd, but the fact that we know that the US does not put money into their infrastructures the way they should. They have to fight about every single thing before they donate, not donate, but put money towards this project or that project. But they band together real fast when it comes to sending money to other countries. I don't get it. That's good, Auntie. Wow. I hope, is he still there, Auntie B? Is your brother still there? Or has he left? Because I don't think I could wait for, I know some people don't like to leave because you think about looting and stuff that happens after the water recedes and people just trying to go in and take whatever they can because residents aren't being allowed back into their area for a little while. And a lot of people want to stay behind because of that reason, but I don't think I could risk my life with the fact that I know I have children, I have a family that is going to be needing me. Main Lake is risen a couple feet. Yeah. I know because it hasn't rained here. I don't think it, not think, it hasn't rained here the whole month of June. And we are at the end of June, y'all. So when we do get rain, which is supposed to be, let me look at my phone, it's supposed to be next week. Let me see if it changed. I checked it a couple of days ago. Because I'm like, Lord, we need rain. Because I was speaking to my neighbor yesterday when I was walking the dog. And I was like, it is so dry out here. Like my throat dry, my mouth dry. And she was like, and crunchy. Because when you're walking, your dog walking, all you hear is that's how hard the ground is. When at least the area I'm in, the grass is, since I've been here for 3 years, has been really plush and lush and vibrant green. Like my husband, when I talked to him yesterday, he's like, so does the grass need cutting yet? I was like, no, that grass dead. It looked like it looked in fall time. And I'm like, that's ridiculous. So I see they've changed our weather up here. They're calling for 30% Friday. Today's supposed to be 94. They're calling for rain Friday, 30%, and then Saturday, 45%. But that's like, and then they're not calling for any more rain until the following Friday. And then it's only calling for a little bit. And I know we need some rain, but Lord, I'm supposed to have my grandkids, 2 of them anyway, this weekend, and I want to take them out to that lake where they built that little beach area at. So thank y'all for coming in. Thank you, Lua. Thank you, Debbie, Tanya, Auntie B. Stay safe. Thank you, Dolores. Hey, Vicky, how are you? Welcome in. Good to see you. Y'all, if y'all haven't hit that like button, please hit the like button. I haven't looked to see how many likes I have. I just, at this point, I can't say I don't care because I do, because those likes help push the video out to more people. And especially because YouTube ain't pushing unless y'all click the like. So thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Teresa, for coming in. Do you have power now, Teresa? Prayers out to you. Prayers out to all of y'all in the chat if you are from this area, any of these areas. And I encourage y'all to please, you don't have to become a hardcore prepper or any of that. Just consider an emergency bag, you know, with some food and first aid kit and all of that stuff in it, weather related clothes, and especially some kind of poncho or something like that. Because if you're thinking, if you're at your home, you're not flooded, but you're getting excessive rain, and maybe you have a leak on your roof and you got to go out there, you got to contend to something outside while it's raining and pouring rain. You want to stay as dry as possible. So having proper, footing and that rain gear is going to be so important on keeping you healthy, because the last thing you want to become is sick. And now you got to contend with being sick and still having to go through whatever emergency that's happening. Hey, Jeanette, thank y'all for coming in. I appreciate y'all. Lamir, all of y'all for being here. I wish I could have come on camera, but honey, your girl ain't even brushed her hair yet. She just like did her sermons and brushed my teeth. I did brush my teeth, but I haven't brushed my hair. And I said, I need to get this work done on YouTube. And then I realized, oh my goodness, this is taking forever. I started last night and I realized I had messed up something. I'm like, oh gosh, I got to spend the whole day doing this, but I got to do 3 videos. So I'm only going to do 2 videos today, this one and one later on today. Hopefully I can get out and do one more later on today. So y'all take care, stay safe. Remember that I love you, but God truly loves you more. He created only one you. Be the best you can be. And when you are, please go out and spread God's love, because God is love and that is what he would want you to do. But first, I want you to love yourself, because if you love yourself, you will know how to give love and receive love in return. And that will make the world go around, because there's so much horrible things happening right now. And I'll call you, but you won't know if I call if you don't turn your notifications on. So turn your notifications on and